A pineapple grenade, yeah. Which, it's kind of dumb because he's flying toward the explosion, so all the fragments are going to hit him in the face.
Sorry,
and
you want to
kill
get
him?
shot in the back instead?
Yeah. I mean, okay, you throw the grenade, you go to the side, and then you fly in, right? You don't move directly to the explosion that you're setting up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, beneath me is Justin, and beneath him is Lessons. And we are here with the second episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, 1979 edition. Who wants to remind us of what happened last time?
Oh boy. Oh boy. A lot of things happen. Essentially, White Base is going to Site 7, but it's being chased by a Zeon warship. Meanwhile, infiltrators, in form of 3 mobile suits, are going to recon the inside of Site 7 because they're going after something, the mobile suits that are being developed by the Federation in Site 7. But one of the pilots decides that he's going to be a hero, just like his boss, who he calls Char. And he charges ahead and starts blasting. While he's doing that, a kid in his underwear gets visited by this girl in his house, and basically he says, "Let's go! We're evacuating. The enemy's coming." Like, okay, I'll leave it, fine, whatever. So they drive off into the shelter. Explosions start. This kid, we call Amuro, goes like, "Those are explosions. I'm gonna go outside and see what's happening." It's like, "Don't do that. I'm still gonna do it." And he does that, and then this other person shows up, like, "Hey, kid, get out of here. We're gonna open this door." And a straight missile kills them both. But he was carrying the manual for a top secret something other. He opens it, Amuro opens it, goes like, "Oh, mobile suit." It's like, okay, so he has the manual in his lab, conveniently, of this mobile suit. There was this conversation earlier where somebody also, who was a lieutenant, said, "Oh, that's your kid." "Yeah, that's my kid. It looks like Amuro." And it's like, well, if we get the Gundam ready, kids like you will not have to fight in this war. Fast forward to Amuro. After all the explosions, including an explosion that kills his best friend, this girl that came into his apartment, Frog, parent and grandparent, he jumps into the cockpit, or climbs really, of this mobile suit, was a Gundam, and he starts blasting and fighting these 2 enemy Zeon suits, one of which he cuts in half with a
Beam saber.
Beam saber, because it has to be legally distinct from something else, and cuts it in half, and it explodes and sends 2 people into space, among them this person that we think is Amuro's father. But Amuro doesn't see that, but he's like, "Oh no, if I destroy these suits here, the entire site is going to be destroyed." So he takes on the other suit by stabbing it and killing the pilot directly, although we don't see the shot of this, the blade going in. Not in this episode, anyway. So he wins the battle, even though he doesn't know what he's doing, right? And eventually he gets orders like, "Yeah, you got to help us deal with this. We're putting all the civilians in this new ship that's coming in, and we're getting the heck out of here." The end.
Yeah, I guess also the point of fact, like you brought up, and I think we talked about last time, that it's Frau's mother and her grandpa, which indicates that Frau's mother is a single mom living with her dad and raising a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot of depth and context to a relationship we don't see, right?
Yes.
Like with just the sentence, "Mom, Grandpa," and the fact that we saw them once during Origin, these 2 things combined, just like paints a picture of her home life and a lot of things that you might be able to read into her upbringing without, spending any time at all on it.
Yep.
Also, it was the 70s and it was cool to hit women.
Oh yeah, slapping has begun. Yes.
Yeah. The slaps have commenced.
When did Airplane come out?
78, I think, around this time. Yeah.
So about a year before. Because literally he doesn't slap her slaps her like compose yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Which is literally the joke in
Yeah,
Airplane, but...
There's not a line of people with, trying to slap, punch, shoot,
Oh no,
hit her with a bat.
that line is the people that are dead. You saw them as we were panning back before the explosion happened.
Yeah. I'm making a line to slap her. Yeah.
But yeah, also, obviously, he wasn't just conveniently carrying the handbook for the Gundam. It was in a box of supplies, and it fell out when the thing hit the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were carrying all their shit to evacuate the Gundam parts, which is what they were doing when they attacked the first place, because they say, what if they get all the Gundam parts into the base, which is white? They might just get away with them. They'll give me a promotion for this. Or no, he says, what'll they care if I do it and I succeed? Which, to be fair, is probably a great way to think about things.
Yeah.
It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Or boldness favors the brave, I think. It's also the other phrase.
Yes. Yeah.
Either way, I feel like I knew that before you said what you said, and now I don't remember what the original thing is. Fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors the bold.
It's like I knew it, and then you said your thing, and I'm like, that's all I can think now.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't say like.
It's that
it's
that Adam Sandler movie quote now. I think we're all dumber for having heard what you just said.
A little bit, but it's okay.
But yeah, first episode, Amuro did not understand what the evacuation order was about, and I really loved that the car flies by. Everybody evacuate! Oh, is that what that thing was saying? It was very loud, and we could hear it from where he was.
There was a nice attitude that the first look we have to Amuro outside of the picture frame is he's working on some electronics. Which in any other anime or whatever that you have a kid who's like, oh, there's a giant robot, like he just sort of magically starts pressing buttons and start doing things, right? He's like, how does a 16-year-old know anything about electronics, right? If he doesn't study, it's like, no, he actually was putting together like a motherboard or something, right? He was like, I'm doing this. I'm fixing a computer. And she's like, stop it. Come on, let's go. Don't be an idiot.
It does give him two benefits there. One, he has the manual, which gives him some edge because he's reading it, laying on the ground reading it before he even gets into the thing, which gives him one leg up. Since our continuity is the one that Origin starts with and then goes forwards, he's been studying it for months now, so he's got that benefit. Now, the cross problem here that we're encountering, I think we discussed before, is that in original continuity, it is said that Amuro made the Haru himself, which kind of already makes him like the whiz kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot of people's problem with the Origin being in continuity with the original series, is that we see child Amuro carrying a Haru box. That the implication is that he bought the Haru, so he's not the WizKid creator that he's supposed to be. But then again, maybe he invented the Haru when he's selling the Haru, for all we know.
Or he modified the Haru.
Well, either way, as we said before, whatever the show puts to us new that contradicts something from the Origin, we just get rid of the Origin thing, take the rest of the Origin, and put the new thing in its place. So, Amuro is a whiz kid who's good at electronics. Origin doesn't really discount that. He's studying I would hate to think he's not a whiz kid in Origin, and he's just like, if I stare at this shit hard enough, it'll make sense.
I'm happy with either one on like a level of humor, but I agree with you.
All right. Well, any final thoughts before we get into this episode?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Because, I mean, obviously it could be the sun rising, but, you know, there's one obvious thing in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I guess also, though, they do the sun rising thing in the opening. Also. How many times can I say also in the opening?
Also.
It's a happy-go-lucky song, but the first words are rage on. Rage on, rage on, rage on, Gundam. You're still burning with a furious rage. You must fight towards the towering foe. They're actionable, angry words to an uplifting beat.
Also, this song is the only place where they call it Gundam and not just Gundam. I guess it to rhyme, I guess.
Oh, that was something I meant to bring up. You and I say Amuro differently. Well, it sounds like you say Amuro, like with an AM, and I say with like with an AH.
Amuro.
I don't know which one's right. I just say Amuro because of the way I read it. But you were saying his name earlier, and I swear you said like with AM, Amuro, Amuro. I say I don't know. I heard it when I heard it. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of your accent or anything like that. It's just
No, it's always. We say Macross differently as well.
Oh yeah, well you're always saying Gamlin with like it sounds like a B accent in his name, and I just assume that's just the way he talks. He's not saying it differently. He is just pronouncing it differently. I know that doesn't make sense saying it out loud, but people with accents aren't saying things differently. They just speak in a different way that makes it sound different.
It's because their vocal cords are used to different.
There was that recent example of somebody who got a vocal cord transplant and actually spoke differently. Which, you know, I would think that the speech difference would be in the tongue, but apparently the vocal cords have a significant part to play. People will not be able to stay in their seats for this discussion. 3 episodes. By the way, have you shown you guys seen my kids' version of Operation British? Very proud.
Is it in Lego or?
Did you put it on
cardboard?
the
It's cardboard.
Cardboard, yeah.
You know one of those push-pull books where you pull the tab and it moves up and down?
Oh, you pull and there's an explosion and the entire house goes up. Yeah.
Well, we built it the same way the Xeons do.
This is very clever.
That's incredible.
It sounds funny, but actually it's pretty clever, right? It's a lightweight material. It will go to where the you know the airflow is at, and will seal when it comes in contact with it.
It's baseball Gundam.
I'm carrying these 3 things for some reason.
It's true.
In the last episode, Bright told him he needed to move the Gundam parts to the ship. By the way, you remember who that is too, don't you?
I do not.
He's on the board.
Okay.
I like how Charm moves his head. You know, I'm not just gonna look at you. I'm going to look at you.
It's very Hikaru if you think about it. Another little retcon there. Oh, retcon for us. He calls him ensign, but we know he's acting captain based on origin.
Yeah.
Also, don't think we saw her last episode,
We didn't.
but we know who she is.
We definitely do.
She might be important. Go back, watch Origins.
This is the most painful phone call I've ever made. My bowels. I shouldn't have eaten that chili.
光線に回った連中はほとんど壊滅だ。君の方は
サイド7に入った者は義士軍人ともに全滅です。たった2機のザクのために。負傷兵の中で戦闘に耐えられる者は10名とはおりません。
ガンダムの関
Like
係
Sailor was told there was what 30,000 engineers
艦長、幸いなことにパイロット
Yeah.
ガンダ
and
ム
no
の
doctors
ガンキャ
except
ノ
for
ン、ガ
her
ンタン
who
クの
got
積み
transferred
込みを
there.
急いでおります。
パイロットは誰か。
確認してはおりません。
その作業が終了後、ホワイトベースをサイド7から発進させろ。
しかしホワイトベースのパイロットが
出航はコンピューターが。
しかし
クルーザー級のスペースグライダーのライセンスが役に立つとは思いませんが、私でよければ。
君は
That other girl that we know.
ヤシマと申します。
そうか、ヤシマ家の。
I conveniently have the skill that we require.
貴様の作戦終了を祝うつもりでおった。貴様がもたもたしてくれたおかげで晩餐の支度は全て無駄になったんだ。
連邦軍の V 作戦をキャッチしたのです。ドズル中将。
何 ?V 作戦？
モビルスーツの開発、それに伴う心臓戦艦を同時にキャッチしたのであります。
さすが赤い彗星のシャアだな。で、何か？
帰還途中でありましたので、ミサイル、弾薬がすべて底をつき。
Dozel still looks like a 45-year-old man.
モビルスーツザクを3機もなくしたのか？
中将。そのうちの2機は連邦軍のたった1機のモビルスーツのために。
よし、ザクを送る。V 作戦のデータは何でもいい。必ず手に入れろ。できるならそのモビルスーツを手に入れろ。
やってみます。少尉、突撃隊員を3名招集したまえ。
補給艦の到着を回すのではないので。
戦いとはいつも2手3手先を考えて行うものだ。
Which is exactly what the guy did in the last episode
ということは
and fucked it up.
もまた可能ではないのかな。
Oh, he tried. He came
To be
close
fair,
to
he
winning.
destroyed a number of non-functioning mobile suits, so because you saw that they were on like truck beds or whatever, so he blew them up.
誰が乗っているって？
アムロと言っておりました。
知らんな。
サイド7でテストをやっていたパイロットでは。
左のパネルでガンダムと連絡が取れる。ホワイトベース出航の時にはガンダムに援護させろ。
チャンネルは
右のコンソールにあるだろう。
Okay.
未来君、どうかね？
基本操作はわかります。でもエンジンコントロールが。
リュウ君が誰か探してくれよ。一人でも戻ってくれば。
お前がアムロ。そこはガンダムのコックピットなんだろうな。
どうしたのか？
子供です。子供がガンダムに乗っているんです。
Me, a 19-year-old, is
何？
calling this other teenager a
ご覧
child.
になられますか？この少年がガンダムを。パイロットじゃありません。
There's what, 4 years difference between them, I think,
子
right
供
now?
がガンダムを操るとは
あの子なら
知っているのか？
よくは知りません。でも
Still a
サイ
child,
ド
you
セブン
know?
は機械好きで有名な子なんです。
ジオンのザクを倒したのもその少
And
年。
he doesn't recognize
ガンダムの性能
the guy's like, oh, this kid is there. And he doesn't remember the picture.
その声はさっき
Who
見
he
せて僕に
is.
ガンダム関係の部品を運べって命令した人ですね。
艦長、降ろさせます。
パイロットが生き残っていたらな。
あなたは居住区をね、任して。
さあ、しっかりしてください、総長。お、君たちは？
艦長命令で逃げ遅れた人を探しに行きます。あ、もう他の人いませんでした？
知らねえな。爆撃の後を避けながらようやくたどり着いたんだ。
さあ、
乗るのかい？
Okay.
お前
I'll be honest, I don't blame Kai.
軟弱者。
なんだったんだよ。
I just survived the attack on the colony, and then some woman runs up and slaps me for surviving.
とまりやがって。あんたせい。
How dare you live? Bang.
そんな不良みたいな口の利き方、おやめなさい。フラウボ、はい。
君、手を貸してくれ。
ああ。
See, that's what happens if you just ask.
It's a very long spacewalk, by the way. Let me use this convenient mirror to signal the ship back.
I mean, sure, but I mean, just like the
It makes
walk,
sense.
just like the walk on the
推
moon.
力3%メガ粒子砲スタンバイ目標サイド7のスペースゲートただしドッキングベイの直撃が
Okay.
勝利もなかなかやるスレンダーはこの工事用の出入り口から
Okay.
潜入できますよし行け
また攻撃のようです
アムロの処分はどうなさいます艦長
オペレーター敵は
あ後方左40度に先ほどの無彩タイプ1隻接近中です
ガンダム艦
It's the red comet.
ものは全て処分させるガンダムにはビームライフルを用意させようは初陣にはやや若すぎるが古来15、6歳の出陣がなかったわけではない君たちに期待する
Historically, there's been a lot of things that we probably shouldn't repeat.
あ艦長
Yeah, it's like child
アムロ
soldiers.
聞こえるかサイ
Yeah.
ド7に残ったガンダムのパーツは破壊しろ
どうしてですまだ3機分ぐらいは
ジオンに機密を渡すというのか
妙です無彩が交代しました
下がったやり方はわかるか
スーパーナパームとかいうのを使うなら
艦長
Super napalm.
Yeah, another war crime waiting to happen. Even though it's
船が出港します残っている人はいませんか
that's not a dog, that's a
あなたのと
werewolf.
ころに行ってくるわ夕食には帰るのよ残っている人がいましたら返事してください生存者いませんか生存者は生存者はなし
Well, see, that's the first Gundam we've seen in this show.
No, actually, we've already
And
seen
I
one.
love it. I
think
love it. It's
a
like it's
Nest
very
Zapper.
dark, and then it's a very dark, and then it's like, oh no, it's so dark. And it's very pink. They're both wearing the same color, basically.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, so it's pink.
押してなさい
勇敢だな軍人ともゲリラとも思えんが
動くと撃ちます
似ている
ヘルメットを取ってくださいそして後ろを向いてください
しかしアルテイシアにしては
A name that wouldn't mean anything to us, by the way, right now in original.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys
Nah.
are pointing it out, but dude was like 10 meters away from her when he kicked the
Oh,
gun out of her hands.
True.
兄さん
スーパーナパームを使います手に乗ってください
Origin definitely helped set that up to make it actually be a thing.
処分するんです
アムロ君確かにジオンの兵隊なのだな
はい
First, we're gonna deploy super napalm, and then we're gonna deploy super rabies. It's a D&D joke.
Yeah.
White Plume Mountain, to be precise.
You fools.
ブライトさんジオンの兵士が港に入っていきました
See, I like characters who communicate, unlike some other characters from other series who doesn't.
誰でも構わん前方より接近中のジオンの兵を狙撃しろ急げ
偵察隊各員速やかに脱出せよ
I am too class.
Those guns would break so often.
Yeah, I don't see the barrel taking.
しまった
My pineapple grenade, yeah. Which it's kind of dumb because he's flying toward the explosion, so all the fragments are gonna hit him in the face.
Right,
and
you want to
kill
get
him?
shot in the back instead?
Yeah. I mean, okay, you throw the grenade, you go to the side, and then you fly in, right? You don't move directly to the explosion that you're, setting up.
You are asking for a lot of those men to just stand there.
Or float away,
It's
basically.
pretty clear from the scene that Amuro doesn't want to shoot a person.
Yes.
And I think Char can see that, quite obviously. So the implication is if you move, you're far more likely to get hit by one of his random blasts than you are to be actually targeted.
ホワイトベースから遠すぎるようだ。本艦の右10キロに位置してくれたまえ。了解。各ブロックの機密再確認できるか。はい。オペレーター、総監が素人だ。なるべく早めに指示を頼みます。
Okay.
やるしかないもんな。頼むよ。
右のゲージがエンジンの出力系だ。
わかります。
レッドゾーンに入らんように。
艦内のミサイル陣のチェックは。
はい、この数字ですね。
よくわかるじゃないか。
各ブロック。確固に迎撃態勢を取れ。
They have the kids fighting.
メインエンジン、パワー臨界上昇、面舵いっぱい。ライト、パワーファイター発進 OK だ。大丈夫なのか。俺はパイロット候補。
Of course, it's you. You can just go. Hadouken.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make a joke about the fact that he got again kneed in the cockpit before.
Yeah.
Hey, being kneed in the cockpit isn't funny, you know?
No, especially because I made the joke 3 times already.
It's really a low blow.
接近する物体2つあります。なんだ、モビルスーツのようです。ザクか。でもブライトさん、このスピードで迫れるザクなんてありはしません。1機のザクは通常の3倍のスピードで接近します。シャアだ。赤い彗星だ。あ、艦長、何か。赤い彗星のシャア。
Yes, Mr. is noble.
Which is literally the thing the Hawk of Endymion gets in Gundam Seed. Just at a different battle, obviously.
やります。相手がザクだから人間じゃないんだ。僕だって。やめろアムロ。君にはまだ。やります。 こうさせるか。どうだ。バカな。直撃のはずだ。これが戦い。くる。うわー。 スレンダー、来たか。敵のモビルスーツの後ろへ。
Strategy time.
あの武器は自分は見ていません。当たらなければどうということはない。援護しろ。
Yeah, also they're using like Basically guns that have the firepower of a tank.
Yeah.
And he's using a battleship cannon, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, this time around they were like,
well, he was zigzagging at the very least.
Yeah.
あのモビルスーツは戦艦並みのビーム砲を持っているのか
Apparently so.
ザクをさせるかうわ変哲のない新型戦闘機かお
He's getting better.
使いすぎだ
I mean, good enough to send someone who destroyed 5 battleships.
Yeah.
I mean, what good is it though if you can't hurt him?
ガンダム着艦しました。
収容作業終了後、アムロ竜をブリッジに。
はい。
ホワイトベースはルナ2に直行する。各員の配置は現状のまま。相互に休息を取れ。来たぜ。
ブライト、敵の様子は
動いていない。しかし、追いかけてくると思うよ。シャアならばな。
I know he's probably just waving hi in an assholey way, but he did do this, and Amuro has killed 3 Zaku so far, so I mean it could also.
ガンダムの性能を当てにしすぎる。戦いはもっと有効に行うべき。
何？
甘ったれるな。ガンダムを任されたからには貴様はパイロットなのだ。この船を守る義務がある。
言ったな。
こう言わざるを得ないのが現在の我々の状態なのだ。
Okay.
やれなければ今からでもサイドセブンに帰るんだな。
ブライトさん。
The place with no survivors on it, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no air.
But there's still air.
No air. They were losing air. I was like, yo, we're gonna run out of air.
No, he said if another massive explosion happened, they would run out of air.
君が中心になってな。ルナ2。
Hey kid, you're in charge of this crazy piece of technology. Go.
Which is our hope to win this war against the genocidal enemies. Yes.
シャアの無罪が補給を受ける。この隙を突こうとコアファイターガンダムが強襲をかけた。しかしシャア以外にもジオンには兵士がいた。戦士の叫びが轟く。機動戦士ガンダム。次回敵の補給艦を叩け。君は生き延びることができるか。
Look, they said the thing.
In the original Gundam Seed reactions that we were doing, I had a whole breakdown of essentially Amuro's decision to take on the responsibility of piloting the Gundam versus Kira's decision to take on the responsibility of piloting the Gundam, and how long it takes them. Like, put it down Amuro for like 2 minutes total or something like that. Because it takes Kira like fucking 8 minutes to get through the same scene. Because God, I fucking hate Kira. But, well, that was one of my early gripes, is that it takes Kira and everybody in that fucking show multiples of time longer than it takes anybody in Gundam to do so. I kept that breakdown, by the way. I might use that in the next Gundam thing now that you've seen the scene. Because I kept my receipts.
Yeah. My video app goes back and starts in a loop anyway, so I have to shut it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember what setting I have, but I have it mine so it freezes on the last frame. so that I don't like it doesn't auto minimize or something.
Mine doesn't auto minimize, but it goes back to the beginning, but doesn't play it.
I don't mean minimize. Goes out of full screen, rather, is what I meant to say. Because if it goes out of full screen, then it messes up the capture area. So.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate the most is Amuro's fear and trepidation at killing people. Right?
I mean, he's a kid and he's a civilian, right? Thrust in the situation where people have died. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just going with the flow, right? And trying to do his best. He's well intentioned. He wants to protect people. Remember when he puts his hand to protect them from the shards of explosion, right? So the why he's doing is because he wants to help other people. He wants to protect Frau. He wants to protect civilians, right? These things are attacking, killing things. So it's not more like, oh, these are the bad guys. It's like, no, people are dying. I'm gonna use what I have, which is this machine, and I'm gonna do my best. In fact, in the last episode, it was like, okay, I will not destroy this thing and blow it to bits because it's going to destroy the entire side. I got to be more careful, right?
Yes.
So there's that.
I mean, just to follow the example, and I know I'm harping on Kira again, but well, for obvious reasons, I know Lessons knows probably, but I don't want to say it out loud because saying it can do something to a different reaction series. So. There's a 21-year difference in the animation between, say, Kira going out for the first time in in Gundam Seed, and Amuro going out for the first time in Gundam 79, and you can see Amuro shaking, the sweat coming down his brow. He is obviously filled with anxiety. He's afraid. You can read that easy in animation that's 21 years prior to when Gundam Seed comes out. And
yes.
Kira, yeah, I don't know if you pull it out, Justin, but I don't see that in Kira's reactions. Kira has different reactions, although he's trying to emphasize the same things.
I completely agree with you, because with Kira, what I see is more PTSD after the fact, but in the moment, he focuses in and he's like, kill people.
I mean, there's even the scene when he has a problem shooting the guys fleeing, but when the missiles are coming, it's like, oh, I can destroy missiles. I'll take care of the missiles, right?
He emphasizes it. These I can do. You know, in case you people in the back seats didn't pull out the fact that I had a hard time shooting actual people. I can shoot 18-meter replicas of people. Those are easy to shoot. I can even wrap my head around the concept of shooting a guy in the cockpit. I guess specifically because I can't see him. That's helpful. And also, I know the side effects of if I don't shoot him in the cockpit, I can kill more people by accident. So I've got to do this thing. But, yeah, I can't remember wherever I first heard it. It was like some sort of psychological breakdown of like the first time a soldier has to fire a gun in actual combat. That there's some high percentage of soldiers that aim up. Like, unintentionally, intentionally, whatever, but they shoot above heads, even though they're trained for, body mass.
Yeah, center mass. In fact, there's two studies, one from the World War II and one from Vietnam, because rifles were single action or semi-automatic in World War II, so you had to pull the trigger for every round. Many, at least American soldiers, actually didn't even fire their weapons. But in Vietnam, because they have full automatic weapons, they just go rock and roll. So it was not, so you have to aim and fire. It was like, that was hard to do. And in Vietnam, it's like, I don't want to aim. I just want to, I want to save myself. So I'll stick this rifle over the wall and just spray on the enemy. And hopefully the enemy's going to shoot me back, right? In fact, I think only 2% of soldiers are people who literally enjoy killing. Like they're people like, yes, I killed that guy. Yes, I have this, in special forces called kill books, because they get up close and personal and take pictures of the aftermath. So you can tell the people who are like gun ho, like you go like, I wouldn't let this person anywhere near my family. And people who are, even though they're highly trained and probably have experience. I met a couple of special operators in my life.
Yeah.
And I would say that these guys are not kill books guys, right? They're not people who have like, souvenirs of graphic description, right? They'll do the job, They may even brag about some of the aspects of it. Like, oh, this is a kind of cool thing. But if you press them into, hey, listen, what exactly did you do? Like, yeah, you don't want to know about it, right? And that's someone who's trained to do that. A 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-old kid who gets in the cockpit of a machine he doesn't really understand in the middle of war that he probably already knows billions of people have been killed. So in the back of his mind, this is deadly, right?
Well,
this becomes a reality for him, but and also in ways like the stakes are as high as they get.
Well, I mean, we've seen like I think the last shot we had of Amuro. Well, maybe next to last. I think the last shot we have of him is walking past the pool, not the pool, the lake. Scene before that, where Thrall breaks down because he's pulling himself out of it. Right? He's not paying attention, and Thrall is like, so many people are dying. How can we, how can you not deal with this? And she starts crying because she's alone, effectively, in this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know how Amuro has been dealing with the neutrality of his position with apathy.
He's trying to, but now he can't escape it. I mean, literally, a missile flew over his head, killed 2 people, and nearly killed him. It's like, well, this is real. I can't be apathetic about this anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're real lucky that they decided to keep firing at other stuff than the Gundam, since, as we see when he pulls the tarp aside, that the cockpit was wide open. The one weak point in the whole thing. It could be kind of like if somebody, I don't know, like, cut open the cockpit and then had a giant explosion in front. Sorry, it's something I'm harping on from another thing. It's very dumb. It's very dumb,
It's
and I
all
feel
good.
like I should be mad about it. But, yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
This episode, the last episode, they're good. It reminds me again why I like Gundam. Yes, Macross is my favorite because when I was a kid, that was one of the things I watched. A lot of things like Spaceship Yamato and Space Battleship Yamato and stuff. But Macross is my favorite. But now that I'm rewatching Gundam, which I couldn't have watched when I was a kid, well, maybe I could have smuggle VHA steps. Yes, I am that old. It's good. It's good. Actually, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty impactful first 2 episodes. I mean, the first episode, right? Frost family. That's fucking. That's hardcore shit. Like, how are we gonna introduce the depth of this? Well, we killed a couple people on the side, but we gotta make it, like, personal. And then this episode, I mean, nobody said anything when it was happening, but Frost seeing the ghost of her past running from her house to Amuro's house, and tears, wipe it away. I've got business to do.
Literally, she sees herself coming out of the house, like her past life, which probably would have been minutes, maybe hours ago, when she went to fetch Amuro. Because literally, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Amuro's house. I'm going to Amuro's like, oh, yeah,
Well, that's why I call it the ghost of her past, because it's like
Yeah.
a blue, nondescript version of her. She's hearing her own voice in her head. And it's like, then she cries and wipes it away. And it's like, I gotta find survivors. I'm here for a reason.
And the whole
it's very much a like, this is getting real. We need, like, I need to handle this now.
And also the fact that she and Sila do go back, and the captain goes like, try to find any other survivors, right? Please.
It's another name difference.
Yeah.
You say Sila, I say Sayla. I mean, there's no pronunciation guide to this, right? So obviously I could hear it in the thing, I'd still be saying Sayla. That's just a thing that comments are rife with, you're not saying it right, or it's not even spelled that way, but that's just what I do.
Yeah.
Also, I guess it's because it starts with S-A-Y, so I say say.
Mm-hmm.
Say la.
Say lovey.
Also, again, the 10-meter kick.
Yeah.
She's got him at range, and then, like, for some reason, they look closer than what they are, but then the camera pulls back again for the wide shot, and they are still a good distance away. So Char's got, like, rubber legs? I don't know.
Yes, so.
Char, the original Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy.
Or,
I I was gonna say Dulcine, but yeah.
See, my first one was actually Gumby, and I just couldn't think of Gumby this whole time. I guess technically Gumby is 70s too, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, and also I guess one little nitpick when he takes his things off, his football goggles as they turn out to be, his eyes are actually black. They're not blue like they're supposed to be. But at this point in the story, we wouldn't know that they're supposed to be blue.
Yeah.
In the scene, Sayla's eyes are blue, so we know that they are capable of drawing blue eyes, but they didn't give him blue eyes.
But they kind of recognize each other. It's like, brother?
Well,
Artesia?
actually,
Artesia? Brother?
he doesn't
Brother?
recognize her because he looks at her and then makes the comment, Artesia wouldn't be strong enough to do that. He isn't like, she looks like Artesia? No, he didn't say something like that. He just says,
no, so
that
I
couldn't
think
be
the
Artesia. She's not
recognition is
strong enough.
there. However, he's like, wait, this doesn't make sense.
This is not the Artesia that I know. That's why
well, I'm saying that she comments on, wait, that looks like my brother. But he doesn't make a similar, that looks like Artesia. He should know to call her Sayla anyway, but I guess, I don't know why. I don't know, in my head, I don't know why he would focus on what her name would be, but he says, it doesn't
I mean,
look
he
like
would
Artesia.
call her Artesia because that's her original name.
Right, but he called her Sayla before.
Yeah.
He's called her both names, and Sayla was the last name. The only reason why, obviously, he wouldn't call her Sayla now is because there's supposed to be a mystery. Like, why did he say Artesia? Everybody in the show was calling her Sayla. And, to be fair, child me who would have watched this, well, obviously this came out when I was -5, but, the child me that would have been able to watch this at any point as a child would have thought, oh, Artesia must be her last name. Like, I would so easily write it off as not a mystery. Oh, her name is obviously Sayla Artesia, then.
Yeah.
I guess so.
What's the problem with some mysteries is if you just don't think they're a mystery, then they don't become a mystery.
Until they tell us it's a mystery.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
and unfortunately, with shows like this, or say Macross 7, they might not think you tell you, because they might think that you should know. And I guess maybe if Japanese is your native language, you would know that, because there might be some certain different ways to say last names, or rather surnames versus given names that would be obvious.
Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment.
But yeah, final thought, wrap up time.
Me likey.
I concur.
All right. Well, once again, I have been Theta. Below me has been Justin. Below him has been Lessons. And we have been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?